Turn it up. Turn it up. You're listening to the fastest growing leadership podcast in the Philippines. Bringing you the realest mentoring advice from experts on leadership.
I'm a real big believer in letting people do their thing.
Customer experience and everything human.
Some people see the thing that they want, and some people see the thing that prevents them from getting the thing that they want.
The Young Leader Podcast.
Keeping it 100, trill, and authentic. Now your host, international speaker, trainer, and your favorite human, Bryken Diao.
Bryken Diao.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Young Leader Podcast. My name is Bryken Diao, and thank you so much for being here. Our guest for today is the rising star of local digital sales and marketing. He has one hell of a story to tell today for our final episode for Series 1 for the Young Leader Podcast. He doesn't really need an introduction in his area, so I'm going to let him introduce himself. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Jhopet Fines.
Hello, guys. Good
Hi,
morning.
Jhopet.
Good morning.
Good
Hello,
morning.
Bri. Good morning.
Good evening.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, man. Thank you for... I appreciate the time. I know that you're a busy person. But before all the formal questions and all the formalities, I want to ask one question first, or the first question first, which is, what do you miss, bro, about childhood? What do you miss about childhood? Yeah.
Parang for me, it's almost the carelessness of being a kid. That it's okay to do anything and everything, to go out, and that kind of freedom to really do whatever you want. And actually, that's the thing that we are trying to recreate now in our companies. Not really focusing on all those corporate things, but really giving everyone a freedom to do what they want, experiment and make mistakes. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I miss about childhood. And I don't miss it that much now because we're actually playing here. We're doing everything like that here in the company. So yeah.
Wow. That is so rare to hear someone who owns a big business or a rising business that their culture is parang maging bumalik sa bata. Can you tell? Well, I'm actually curious now. But before answering that question, I have to formally open the show. What do you do, Jhopet Fines, and how do you do it?
All right. Good morning, guys. Good afternoon. Good evening. Kung nasan ka man, no?
Yeah.
Worldwide na to, Brian, no?
Yeah,
Congratulations, man. So yeah, I'm Jhopet Fines. I'm the president and CEO and the founder of TOPYUGO Digital Incorporated. We are a digital sales and marketing company. Our operation spans nationwide. We are a group of around 65 people now, and we're projecting around before the end of year to be at around 100 to 120. So yeah, that's what we do. Mainly, we do e-commerce. We have our own brands. We have different companies who partnered with us for us to carry their brands and to technically sell it for them. So yeah, that's our background. That's what we do. We sell things.
Wow. So how old is your company, man? Like you're telling me that you have 65 employees or 60 plus employees, and then your target at the end of the year is 100 plus. Knowing that growth that you're having, like how old are you? I mean, how old are you as a company? TOPYUGO.
TOPYUGO, in terms of since day one operation, we're just breaching around 1.5 year.
Wow. Like less than 2 years, and
less than 2 years, yeah.
And then you are growing that much. Wow! Congratulations, man! Congratulations.
God's grace.
Yeah, man. Can we go back to the first question in your introduction?
Sure.
I was no, you are the president though. Anyway, I am curious about that. The thing that you mentioned. The way you want to do things is go back when you were like when we are children. So, paano yung setup nyo ba as a culture, or what culture are you envisioning para sa company mo? And the next question I have there is, ano ba yung age group ng company mo?
Right. So it all started actually with the way I lead people. Because the way I lead is I'm going to micromanage people until I trust them. So once I give you a task, I'm really going to micromanage you. I'm going to look at even the accountant, even the HR. I'm going to look at every detail until I see that, yeah, I think you're good. I can trust you now. Go fly and do whatever you wanted to do. As long as you meet the KPIs, as long as you meet the vision of the company. So yeah, actually our vision, we wrote our vision since our day one, and that's to become a billion peso company in 2025.
Wow.
But actually, on our last board meeting, we changed the vision of the company with just 4 letters, bro. Just 4 letters lang. Actually, 4 characters lang. The
What are they?
original vision, the original vision is to make TOPYUGO Digital Incorporated a billion peso company by 2025. Now we just amended that and changed just 4 characters, but it changed the whole dynamics of the company. You know that 4 characters is
What are those?
to make TOPYUGO Digital Incorporated a billion peso company by 2021.
Wow.
The 4 character is 2025 changed to 2021. And
Wow.
you know what? It changed everything. It changed everything. Now, going back to your question, it all starts with the way of my leadership is that I micromanage people until I trust them. And once I trust people, I really invest with them. I give them trainings. I give them good toys. I give them good workplace. And I really don't mind kung anong oras ka papasok or what. Well, the HR imposed a regular
Yeah.
9 to 6. But after that, you do whatever you want to do in the office. We have a billiard table here, massage chair, dartboards, PlayStation. So yeah, that's how we do it. We do it like a kid here. If you want to play in workplace, it's fine. We have a coffee machine. We have a pantry. So I wanted to give those to people that I trust, to people that I know could do something. So I think that's the reward actually.
That is the reward part. Wow. This is so interesting. From one person who's managing 100 people as well, and one thing that I know that is really important in a company, especially in a startup company, is the culture. A lot of people now, or a lot our manpower now, are not really into the monetary side of things. Well, that makes them go inside the office, go inside the door, but what makes them last is always the culture. And I agree with you, man. Those little toys, those billiard tables, massage chair, and PlayStation, it plays a lot. It plays a lot in the dynamics of the company. But before I dwell on that, baka kasi makalimutan ko rin yung question. Grabe, na-excite ako. Like, first, 5 minutes pa lang, ang dami ng laman nito. Dude, you started 1.5 years ago, and then you are confident that you're gonna reach your goal or your vision, which is, to be a billion peso company by next year.
In 16 months, bro.
In 16 months. And if I know you. We've talked like last year. I've known you since last year, and I know the confidence. I know that you are really smart, street smart, and in everything you do, you put like 300% of your effort every time. That's why if I'm gonna be an investor, I'm gonna invest not in the company, but in you, because I trust with your skills. I trust with your dedication. But not all people actually knows you, and then when they hear things like this, like, wait lang, they their target or their vision was 2021 or 2025 originally to be a billion peso company, and then now and then it's COVID. Their target is a billion peso next year, and the next phrase there that I'm seeing from other people, it's either tataas ang kilay, or pangalawa is paano nyo gagawin yun? Right? So, young company, young manpower, an orthodox strategy that you're doing,
Right.
growing the company. what do you think are like the most important things uh, for you to reach that goal? Kanina sabi mo, nag-iba yung dynamics, bro eh. And I understand that. When you change the vision, when you change the goal, it changes everything. Right? Even if just one number na pinalitan mo, it will change everything. It will change the urgency, it will change the efficiency, it will change as well yung motivation ng mga tao. Kasi if people are motivated, if motivated sila kung ano yung goal mo as a company, that will be their personal goal as well. Right? So what are the important things, bro, na you think na kailangan mo magkaroon as a company, as a leader of the company as well, for you to reach that vision in 2021?
Definitely, number one, bro, is the people around you. People say that you have to surround people that are better than you, right? So the way I look at it, the challenge actually is our location. We are centered here in Nasugbu, Batangas. So secluded area to probinsya. There's not much talent like in Manila, in other urban cities. So we saw the challenge initially pala. So if we're going to look for programmers, I don't think we're gonna find a programmer here. Actually, hiring palang accountant before, we've had so much challenge. Accountant palang, bro. That's kind of like the basic thing of establishing a company. So we already saw that initial pala ng company. So what we look for, number one, is the character of the person. Then second is we created a training program for all those people with great character. So we actually have KPIs for that character. I've learned this from our JCA president Joey Garcia. That what he wanted are people na mabuti at magaling. Dalawang M lang, mabuti at magaling. Then
those are the two characters that you're looking for. Mabuti and magaling.
And magaling. Hindi pwedeng mabuti ka lang tapos wala kang contribution.
True.
Hindi rin naman pwedeng puro contribution ka tapos nang aaway ka sa loob.
True.
Diba?
Attitude.
So there should be a balance on that. So we saw that weakness of the company or of disadvantage of our location already first day pa lang. And so what we did is we created a training program for people to come in. As I've said, diba? You have to surround yourself with great people, better than you.
True.
So knowing that, I've asked myself, am I going to find people that are good in this location, in this place, in Nasugbu? So mostly the question is, hindi palagi. It's going to be challenging. So I look deeper. Sabi ko, do we have to move our location to a city so we could find a better talent? Then I remembered where I came from. I remembered the people who trusted me when hindi pa ako ganun kagaling, nung wala pa ako napapatunayan. And one person told me that everyone is my master at least in one thing. Sa lahat ng nakakasalamuhan niya, he believed that bawat isang tao ay mas magaling sa kanya, at least for one thing. So I think into that, inisip ko yun.
Yeah.
And I asked myself, if I'm going to hire people, kung makikita ko yung mga tao sa paligid ko, every time I speak to an applicant, I always ask, saan siya mas magaling sa akin? I try to dive deep into that. Saan siya mas magaling sa akin?
How do you...
And
sorry to cut you off, man, because
Sure.
I'm excited with the story. But how do you look for that? What questions do you ask when you're hiring people kung saan siya mas magaling sa'yo? Kasi I agree with you. Like, you know, there are street smart, there are different talents, there are different skills. Minsan magaling ka sa leadership, hindi ka magaling sa Excel. Something
Correct.
like that, right? So to that simple thing. So how do you figure that out?
I don't know, man. Actually, I think that's one of my gifts. I became a missionary when I was 18 to 20.
18.
You know that guy with name tag, with necktie and name tag with
the one that knocks
on
your door.
We knock on door, yeah.
And then you just pretend to sleep.
Yeah.
Kidding. But yeah.
Yeah. That's where I've learned that. We nakakausap namin marami talaga on the bottom of the society. And you know what? The magic is when you see beauty in them. When you see beauty in people that nakikita mo wala pa on the prime, wala pa on the potential. I think I've built that capacity in there when I served my 2-year mission. On that 2 years, bro, wala kami TV, wala kami internet, walang radio, walang communication with our family. We're single-handedly focused on what we do. It's helping people. We help people overcome addiction. We help people overcome
Wow.
cigarettes. We help broken family to come together. So you know what? You know that we are we are really dedicated to help other people. Na alam namin, we don't feel like we have problems at all kasi ang pinaproblema namin is problem of other
Problema ng
people.
tao. Yeah.
Yes, and that made me really happy and fulfilled. And I think I really cannot explain how we do that or how I do that. But I think that's one of the elements that I've learned in my mission. Is really
Discernment.
to look deeper, to discern
Yeah.
deeper of a person's character and person's capability and capacity.
I agree that you as a missionary yung tawag sa inyo, 'di ba? Tama ba? Missionary, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
you becoming a missionary or became a missionary before or you were a missionary before. Na-develop kasi yung, interpersonal skills mo sa mga tao, and I agree with you na the more that you talk to people, the more na ma-develop mo yung discernment mo sa mga tao. So, it doesn't matter who the person is talaga, but if
Right.
you talk 200 people this year and then you talk to 100 people the following year, I know for a fact it's not just 100 people that you talk to in the past. Definitely there's
Right.
like thousands, right? So you develop kasi unconsciously you are reading their body language, you are reading may mga common thoughts din sila na you tend to predict na. And I agree with you. That's why I love people as well. I love talking to people kasi at the back of it, na-develop din yung skill ko sa pagdidiscern. So, going
Right.
back,
It's actually, bro, it's actually the listening skills. You listen not just on the voice, but you listen on how they talk. You
Everything.
listen on their emotions, and you listen on how they move.
Yeah, body language.
So when you have that kind of love to people, it would come naturally. Actually, if you really have that deeper love with the people that you work with, it would come naturally.
Okay. Perfect. So, right people, which is like masipag and magaling, and
And magaling.
then you actually
Right.
have that one skill na you're looking for every time in an interview. So you concentrate on that, you invest on that. So, what are the things pa na tingin mo na will make your company grow and reach that 2021 goal?
Right. Number 2 is process. It's kind of like playing chess. It's going to be very disadvantageous to you kapag kulang yung piece mo or kapag doble yung piece mo. Pero having the right people is just the first step. But knowing how to play chess is another thing. So the first is you collect the right pieces. Second is you learn how to play chess. So that's the job of the president. That's the job of the CEO. Is how do you play? How do you make those people move? Now you understand that these people work like, for example, a horse. It does this weird move, right?
Yeah.
Like yung
Yeah.
tail.
Yeah.
So how do you use that to your advantage? Although parang napakahirap niyang gamitin, di ba? Medyo unpredictable yung location niya. So I think that's the beauty of the piece, yung horse, is that it's unpredictable. You can use that to surprise your enemy or your competition. So you have the right people. You have to know the characteristic and capacity of the people and use that on the right process. You have to engineer the process as though these people would function to their advantage. So, like, give you an example. Out of those 65 people, siguro 3/4 are non-college graduates. Konting-konti lang yung college graduates, but everyone are hungry and determined. And yeah, they are very good. So number 2 is process. You have to create that gameplay that you will win. The strategy that you know you're going to win. The strategy that you know you can go under your enemy and surprise them. And hello, we're here.
Yeah.
Like that. And number 3, which is for me is the most the important thing in an organization, is you have to inject them with the right vision. Having a vision like on your wall is different than having a vision that people believes in, that people breathes in, that people will remember every time they wake up, hey, we have to do this. Hey, we have to do this. This is where we're going. Ito yung pupuntahan natin. Because people doesn't work in their full capacity because of just money. Hindi. They work hard because they wanted to go somewhere. And if you have that kind of vision, whereas everyone is really focused on and excited to go to and achieve, I think that's where the real magic happens. You have the right people, you know how they move, you have the right process, and you have that vision. And people believe in that vision. If you're going to go back, di ba? Religions, they don't get paid. Madami, they don't get paid. Then why are they doing so many sacrifices, di ba? Some people are sacrificing their lives. Pero wala silang bayad. It's because of that vision that they have. They believe in it firmly, that they are willing to do everything they could, sacrifice everything they have, just to get towards that vision. So, yeah, I think that's where the real magic happens. It's helping people see that. As founders, it's very easy. We are visionaries. Pag negosyante ka, alam mo kung saan ka papunta.
True.
But having people believe that is a different story. And the process that you will do for people to believe that is a different story. And I think, as I've said, that's where the real magic happens.
I love it. I love it, man. Kinikilig ako kasi we have the same belief when it comes to leadership. You know, the first part of building a great company is people.
Right.
Kasi people makes the company. Gaano kalalim ang investors mo, ang bulsa nila, it doesn't really matter if you don't have the right people. And I like the one that you said, that process. You have to be wise with their skill. You have to maximize everything, and you invest on those things. And sabi mo, di ba? Well, for a horse to move like in an L shape, it seems like a disadvantage. But come to think of it, like that horse is the only, person or item or character that can move that way. And it makes him unique, right? It can actually surprise your enemy, sabi mo kanina, which is, I really like that. And the last one is vision. I agree na, the founders are easy to plan, are easy to see the vision and everything because they are the founders, because they are the first ones who believed. Pero yun nga, mahirap yung i-translate mo yun sa mga tao mo. And minsan, natatranslate mo yun sa tao mo, namamotivate sila ng 1 month, namamotivate sila ng 3 months, and then after that, they go back to their old self na, it's not my company. Right. I don't really care about this. So, with that challenge of yours, or, in a typical company, in a typical organization, this is happening, by the way, na, G na G talaga yung mga tao on the first 3 months. Sobrang, alam mo yun, excited sila sa lahat ng mga pinag-town hall nila, pinag-meetingan nila. But then again, after 3 months, okay, I'll just go back to my personal stuff. So, paano mo na-overcome yung ganun challenge na paintindi talaga sa kanila na it's gonna be in the long run at hindi lang siya sa intro part ng alam mo yun, ng introduction nila, o kaya pag hindi sila nare-regular, so kailangan nila magpabibo, and then after regularization, wait lang, protected na ako ng dole and everything, di ba? Parang so I have this freedom na. So what do you think na, alam mo yun, yung mga strategies mo, can you share it to our listeners? Especially, our listeners are, HR, professional people, investors as well, starters, founders. And then most of them, majority of them, are young people who wants to start to work or be in the workplace. And most of them are actually figuring out kung ano yung gusto nila or paano nila gagawin pag nakapasok sila sa isang company. Something na ganun. So, again, what do you think, or how do you overcome these challenges na maging, alam mo yun, maging consistent yung motivation ng mga tao mo or yung belief nila dun sa goal mo in 16 months? 16 months, That's crazy. That's still crazy, man. But yeah, go.
Well, actually, kasama dun sa tatlo. So it's a 3-step process, progressive yan, from people to process to vision. Pero along those 3 is very encompassing principle and activity that we do, that I personally do. Number 1 is, the key is into follow-up. So not just giving them tasks, not just giving them assignment or position, but really following up to what? To their progress, to their problems, to their KPIs, to what they want to do, the vision, the status. So I even sometimes follow up, how's your family? You know what? You have to, people must feel that you care before they care of your company. So you should stand as a father figure muna sa kanila. Then being a president will come naturally. They will respect you as a president if they see that you care for their family. So number one is follow up. Once you do that every time, they will build accountability because they know they're going to be checked. Alam nila yon. Pag pumunta dito si Sir or si President, alam ko i-check ako. So they will feel that natural accountability to the things that they are assigned to do. Then once paulit-ulit nangyayari yon, you know the third character that they will build? Discipline.
Wow.
It will come naturally already. Hindi mo na kailangang i-follow up masyado. Hindi mo na kailangang tignan palagi. Because you know, once you give the task, it's gonna be done. Alam mo tapos yun. Because they already built that discipline. So that's along those three processes: people, process, and vision. On people, finding the right people, you have to follow up, you have to build the accountability, and you have to build discipline. On process, you also have to do the three. And on vision, you also have to do the three. Because having one town hall meeting for the vision isn't enough, actually.
It won't suffice. It won't suffice.
Right. You have to create a strategic follow-up sequence for that. So, like, for example, one big announcement of the change. We've done that. The big announcement. Everyone's fired up. Yes, kaya natin to. That time, it's 16.5 months. So, 0.5 months has already gone.
Yeah.
So, after that, we have strategic follow-up for them. So the next thing that we've done is we clustered all departments and divisions into different teams who would focus on specific projects. Because after the announcement, we also announced the action plan on how we're going to do that. So we already clustered them there. Tsaka namin sila binigyan ng mga tasks. So yeah, we do those things. Along that three people, process, vision, we do follow-up. They build accountability and they build discipline. So once they build the discipline, ibang galawan na yun. For example, you're a dancer. A casual dancer is very different than a disciplined dancer.
True.
If you're a casual bodybuilder, that's very different than being a disciplined bodybuilder. True. A disciplined bodybuilder counts everything, the calories, the protein. Yeah. Yes, how gaano katagal sila nag-press, how gaano kabigat yung binubuhat. So it became a science once you build the discipline. So that's where the sweet spot is, when you build the discipline to the people.
Well, kinikilig pa rin ako. Tignan mo yung ngiti ko. And you know what, man? I'm really happy na ikaw yung final guest ko para sa final episode ng season 1. I'm really, really happy. Kasi, di ba, the title of the show is The Young Leader. And you're actually young. And you're doing the right, well, in my belief, the things that I've experienced as well in the past, na, you actually do the ideal leadership in your people. Kasi, most of the time, I've been an employee for 14 years, and if hindi kasi ikaw yung nasa taas, it's really difficult para, alam mo yun, para i-disseminate mo yan sa mga tao mo kung ano yung mga belief mo. But if you're at the top, like you're the president, you're the founder, and then this is your belief as a leader, I'm telling you, for the employees of TOPYUGO that are listening, you know what? There is maybe 1 in 100 company, especially in a local company, na merong ganitong boss. And you guys are really lucky to have Jhopet as your boss. Pogi na, mabait pa, magaling pa. San ka pa? It sounds like
gusto mo tanghalian.
It sounds like a slogan from a campaign, but dude, wow. But you know what?
Thank you.
I want to go back to the basic. I want to hear your story. How did you start? And I want to hear, I want to let you tell the story to the listeners as well, and how humbling or how humble you started as an entrepreneur. Ano ba yung original goal mo? Kasi I like the our transition na napaka-spontaneous lang. So isingit mo na rin to dun sa sagot mo. What was your original dream And then how did it work out? And how did it work out? And then how did it transition for you to being an entrepreneur full time and then digital, right? There's traditional
Right.
and then digital. So I'm gonna be a listener at the moment and then just fire away.
All right. Well, everything started nung my first job is when I was 18 years. No, actually 17. I work at Jollibee. I fry chicken.
Same.
Yes.
Same.
Oo.
Go. Yeah.
Hindi lang halata sa build ko ngayon, pero I also dance as a mascot before. Payat ako dati.
What?
So yeah,
What do you
I
mean?
dance as a mascot. Jollibee mascot. I
Oh,
do that.
so you're the
Ako
mascot
yung nasa
guy.
loob. Gumaganyan. Yes.
Okay.
Ganyan. So actually 17 years old ako noon. I'm going to make a confession. Sorry Jollibee. Out of alam mo na, I wanted to work. I wanted to earn money. I came from zero. As in wala kaming bahay. We live in squatters area. I came from a broken family. So sabi ko at 17, I wanted to do something.
This is in
So may
Batangas,
opening.
bro.
Yes, it's in Batangas.
This is in
Same place
Batangas.
where I live.
Okay.
Yeah. So sabi ko, I wanted to do something. I wanted to help the family. So I was just 17, pero ang requirement's 18. So what I do is I personally fake my papers. Ako mismo. So I got accepted. I got the job. And sabi ko, I don't know. Wala akong experience in doing something. Wala akong experience sa pagtatrabaho. At least formally, Sabi ko, one thing lang, sabi ko, I'll be the best that I could. Kung magpa-fry ako ng chicken, I'll be the best. Ako ang pinaka-best na mag-fry ng chicken. And I've done that, actually. Yung pag-open nung frying ng chicken sa Jollibee, hindi siya madali. It's very heavy. Ako yung pinakaunang staff, though at least on our branch, who could open two at the same time. You have to use your both hands kasi to open that You have to press yung takip, tapos you have to, parang may lever na ganyan.
Yeah,
So
I know that.
ako yung first time na mag-open, so I could, penny, if you're familiar.
Yeah.
So ako yung kaya mag-fry ng dalawang batch ng sabay. I could fry both. So pagdating ng lunchtime, hindi ako napepending ng chicken. So kapag may audit, yung manager ko, laging ako yung Oo.
Lunchtime, and which is the
chicken.
busiest time of the day of Jollibee. Yes. Yeah.
Right. I made that as a challenge to myself.
How many
After
months?
my training period, napepending kami. I worked for Jollibee.
No, I mean, how many months before
Is that
you
the right
were
process?
able to be the best fryer of Jollibee in Nasugbu, Batangas?
Ang training ko kasi 'di ba may training certification at
Yeah.
saka something 'di ba 3 layers. Natapos 'yan 1 week. So I was one of the very first to also finish that. That's my drive. I'll do my best. Then after that, siguro after a month of training, first month napepending pa ako. Sabi ko, I don't want this kind of problem. I want to work smart.
It's efficient. Yeah.
So yun, after that, the rest of my 5 months of stay, wala na akong pending. Record-breaking yun sa branch.
Wow.
So yeah,
Go.
that's where I started. Then after that, the next big thing to me, that's my first big thing. I built my drive on that work. Doon ko nakita na ganito pala magtrabaho. Then I developed that kind of drive that I don't care about the money. I get paid around 20 pesos per hour that time, around 300 pesos per day. So I don't care much. What I care about is I wanted to be the best. My next big thing is when I serve my mission. I also did my best on that. You know what? Regular, you have to wake up at 6:30 a.m. No matter how tired you are. You have to do personal study. You have to do companionship study. You have to go out and hit targets. So we set targets for like siguro daily 20 to 50 people makausap namin. And we have to have at least siguro mga 5 to 10 lessons per day. Lessons is around 15 to 20 minutes conversation. Ganun. Inside home. I've done my best on that. And I finished my 2 years mission that alam ko wala akong nagawang mali. I know I could tell to myself if I'm going to bring myself back to that 2 years, I can't do anything more. I've done my best, 100%.
What did you do differently? Because I know na you were you told me this in Batangas, the national convention. In Naga, the national convention last year. You did something different, diba, from the other missionaries for you to be wise when it comes to the numbers of people that you're gonna be talking to for you to hit the target in a day. So can you tell us the story?
Yeah. Well, it's a spiritual thing kasi. Diba?
Yeah.
It's a spiritual process. Pero what I did is I injected some kind of science into it.
Yeah.
Parang sabi ko, every time I speak to 50 people in a day, how many of them I get return appointments to? Out of those return appointments, how many of them I get teaching lessons to?
Yeah.
Out of the teaching lessons, how many of them can I get a baptismal date? Parang ganon.
Yeah.
So I try to put a funnel conversion into that. And
you don't even
yun
realize.
I don't even realize the sales and marketing pala yun.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ito yung leads mo. Ito yung like pag may 1,000 leads ka, ilang percent lang yan yung mako-convert mo talaga. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So, yun yung in-impose ko sa amin. Companions kami palagi eh. Ako, tapos may kasama ako. It changes every 6 weeks or 3 months, ganyan. I explain to them, ito yung gagawin natin. Because if we don't have people on top of our funnel, mauubusan tayo ng tao sa baba. So all we have to do is just really work hard to increase the quantity and quality of people we put into our first funnel. Yun lang.
Yeah,
yes,
yung leads.
So we identified anong mga activities generates the best leads possible.
Which is
Parang
analytics now.
Yeah.
So,
I don't realize it then. Parang for me, it's just working smart. Diba? Imbes na magpakahirap tayo, ang objective naman natin is to change people's lives. And I don't believe in that specific city, wala at least 10, 20, 50 people who wanted their lives to be changed. You know what? Yung mag 360 talaga.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. So sabi ko, if we're going to work smart, we will be finding those people faster, and we will be doing our job. Alam mo yun, mas maganda, mas mabilis, and we will be changing lives, which is priceless for me.
True.
So that's my second big thing. On first job, I've learned to drive. Second, I've learned how to work smart and to love people. I've learned to see the beauty in people, no matter what status they are. They are my master in at least one thing. I've learned how to become a person. I've learned how to become a human. Diba? Ikaw nga, diba? I've learned how to become a human. I've learned how to see people's needs prioritize people's needs higher than mine, because I just wanted to help. Number 3 is when my version of my story is when my wife proposed to me. That's my version. Well, that's my version.
Is this after the missionary time? Yeah.
3 years after my mission.
Okay.
So
and then
my version is she proposed to me. If you want to hear her version, then interviewin mo din siya dito.
Yeah. Well, I think the version of her is you propose to her. So you know what? I'll take her version then. Sige, go. So what's the story? What's the story? Come on, I want to hear the story. About what happened there, yeah. Yeah.
So the first is the drive. Second is the mission, the love, the people person being a human, and the priorities. Number 3 is when I met my wife. No, that time I really have nothing. I have multiple failed businesses. Zero. Nagtinda ko ng lugaw, tinda ko ng burger, tinda ko ng perfume. Pero all those may costings lahat yan. I've done the best I could on all projects I have. Kahit burger yan.
Ka talaga. Nag-bookkeeping ka talaga. Okay.
I still have those notebooks with me. Nandun yon. Tapos naggagawa ko ng piprint ako sa bond paper. Tinitip ko yun sa mga puno. Nagpa-marketing na ako noon. Tinitip ko yun sa mga puno.
Wow.
That's how I do it. Now, when I met my wife, yung asawa ko ngayon, I don't have anything. Wala na, zero na. Zero bank account, zero money, zero all. As in lahat. This is 3 years after my mission.
Yeah.
But then I met her. Alam ko, I felt na siya na talaga. Alam ko siya na yun. So, even wala akong pera, ay niligawan ko siya. I still gave the best I could do with whatever I
Whatever
could
you
afford
had,
that
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Whatever I could afford that time. So, long story short, ikakasal na kami. Still, wala akong pera. What I spent for handa is around 3,000 pesos. Then, since ang church namin, libre naman ng kasal so I have no problem with that. Yung wedding dress niya, since mananahi yung mama ko, I just bought the tela. Yung kalahati, galing sa sister ko, yung binili lang pambaba. As in,
Okay.
bro, mananahi na mama ko ha. Mananahi na yon. So, supposed to be, we could be affording to create a whole dress.
Yeah.
Pero hindi bro, kulang talaga pera. Wala talaga.
What year is this? What year was this?
2014? Yeah. 2014.
Wow.
6-7 years ago. Then,
Wow.
we're already going to church. Wala kami bro wedding ring na alala namin.
Naalala nyo, kakasal kayo, the most
Kasi
important,
yes, bro.
the most
we
important
were
symbol.
Yes, we were too busy creating the invitation, doing this, that we forgot, wala pa tayong ring, wala pa tayong sing-sing. We're really young that time. My wife is just 19. I was 23. So, all we know is that we love each other and we wanted to be together. Sabi nga, di ba, you choose whom you marry and yun.
You build
then,
your empire
wala pa kami
together.
wedding ring.
Yeah.
Right. Then, you know what? Nung pagtingin ko sa wallet ko, ang laman na lang is 1,000 pesos. Yung around 500 for that will be for pamasahe. We went into a store, yung typical silver, nagbebenta ng mga silver na sing-sing. Goodness, yung isang sing-sing bro, yung pinakamura is 300, 500 pesos. Pinakamura na yun Sobrang nipis na yun. Sabi ko, we can't afford that. We can't afford that.
We can't.
And you know what?
You said we can't. Okay.
Oo, we can't. That time, because I only have 1,000 pesos and the purchase is kailangan ng gawin.
Yeah.
No, kailangan namin gawin. Mamimili kami kung sing-sing or pamasahe going towards Manila. Kasi doon kami kakasal. So, nahihiya ako sa pagiging asawa ko, pero I talk to her. Sabi ko, kulang pera na. Sabi niya, alam mo, wala siyang keme, wala siyang arte. Sabi niya, it's okay. Hanap tayo na mas mura. Alam mo kung saan kami napunta? Sa peryahan. Peryahan, bro. Sa peryahan.
Wait,
alam mo yung...
Nang umaga? Peryahan?
Oh, hindi. Bukas yung mga tindahan. Hindi yung rice.
Yeah. Yung mga bargain. Yung mga bargain.
Yeah. Oo. And ito yung ring namin. It looks like a platinum now. Kasi aged na. Pero bro, ito is, we bought this for 10 pesos each. It's the stainless steel ring. Yeah, 10 pesos each, bro. 10 pesos. It's a stainless steel ring that we bought together. And you know what? Even though we only spent that much on our wedding ring, we are really happy. Pumunta kami sa peryahan. We are not shy. We are not disappointed. We're actually happy. Sabi ko, this is the best decision in our life. Sabi namin together. Darating ang tayo, yayaman tayo parehas. That time. So we bought that ring for 20 pesos. So I still have 980 pesos. We still have 980 pesos left. Namasahe kami. Then a friend of mine, hinatig kami pabalik with an L300 na naka-dress si Mrs. full wedding dress. Naiihi siya. We stopped on a gas station. Umihi siya doon. So
wow.
That's my second big realization in life is that I found the right partner. Yung dito nga sa formula, you find the right people, not just in business, but also in your personal life. If you have a choice to find or to have a person enter your life, you have to do it actively. From choosing someone you would marry, from choosing a friend, from choosing a partner, from choosing an attorney or what. So that's my greatest third thing is that I found my wife. I found someone who would be with me for better or worse. After that, we've had some successful businesses. We've earned our first million right after siguro 1 year kami magkasama. Mabilis right after then. We worked together. And then third year of our marriage, we've had our biggest loss. Uh, we invested into a food park and we've lost 3 million pesos that time in 3 months. So that's
Wow.
all of our life savings, everything we have saved, plus utang. But you know what? My wife didn't even blame me.
Wow.
She just said, nagawa na natin before, magagawa natin ulit. She's just there. She supported me. So,
Goosebumps, man. Goosebumps.
kaya every time I have a chance to really say thank you to her, I would always do. Because that really paved the way into me having the right character. My wife taught me how to be humble, how to really focus on supporting each other, the value of a family, the value of having kids. And that to me is the greatest thing. Ngayon, take out everything I have, I still have my own family, I'm good. Okay na ako dun. So, those are the three things that I think gave a turning point into my life. And three things that I would, kung bibigyan ako ng chance ulitin ng buhay ko, I will still choose to do. And I will still choose to do the best I could. So right now, I may be a president, I may have a growing company, a multiple number of people, pero I'm still a father. I'm still a husband. And being called the best father and being called the best husband is the best thing I could do in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
Wow. And I'm just thankful that you are my friend, man. I am blessed that you are my
Me too,
friend.
bro.
Yeah.
Me too,
Kasi
me too.
I see the humble beginnings, and hindi pumasok talaga sa ulo mo yung kung ano man yung naging achievements mo. And then I love
Actually,
the
bro,
way,
in contrary, pumasok yung naging mayabang ako when we were starting. Nung time na wala pa, after the wedding, when we earned our first million, doon ako yumabang. Doon ko na feel na, kaya ko na, kahit anong gawin ko, kaya ko na. Yumabang talaga ako. Aminado ako doon. Alam ng misis ko yun. I gave her some hard time that time.
what was the turning point?
The turning point is when I lost na, no, you don't know everything. Doon ko na-realize na money should not define you. You should define how you use your money. Sabi nga ng iba, di ba, hindi mo madadala yung pera sa langit. Pero what you do with your money, yun yung madadala mo. And I focus on that. I'm very conscious on that now, on how I use money. Madadala ko ba to sa kabila or hindi? So that changed me. My wife's support and the failure I've done with Food Park. I was really bullish that time. Bullish talaga ako. I'm very confident. Alam ko kaya kong gawin. Pero I don't have that kind of character yet to really be successful. At least call yourself successful. And I think that failure, if I could do it again, I would do it. That time, ayaw ko kasi utang, bro. Ang utang ko, I need to pay at least 150,000 pesos per month that time to at least pay for the payables. And my earning from my other companies, sweldo ko lang is around 20,000. I have 3 kids that time. I have a family. I'm renting. I'm paying bills. And sabi ko, how am I going to pay for this?
Yeah.
How am I, goodness sake, kahit doblehin ko yung kita ko, hindi enough. The only asset I have then is my 1999 Toyota Corolla. Bro, yumabang ako dun ha. Nagkaroon ako ng 1999 Toyota Corolla. I feel like I'm driving a sports car.
1999 Corolla in 2000 and something, right?
Something. Yeah. Oo. Yumabang ako noon, seryoso. And I'm flashing that to my friends. Dinadala ko yung kung saan. Dinadrive ko yung sa palengke. Naka-down yung window so people would see me. Ganun ako kaya. Seryoso, bro. Seryoso.
Okay,
Because
now,
you know what? In my family, I was the first one to have a car. So for us, it's a great achievement already.
As a family.
Pero hindi yun. And then, yun, we went to that, ang laki ng utang. Sabi ko, paano ko babangon? Ang una kong ginawa is really change of heart. Showing to my wife that my motive now into earning money is different. It's not to flash anymore. It's more on how can I help my family? Second, how can I help other people? So I sold my Toyota Corolla in 99. I sold that for 130,000 pesos. And that, bro, that's what I used to start TOPYUGO. That's my initial investment. Yes. That's my initial investment to start TOPYUGO.
When we talked in Naga, I still remember that table in front of Lance. We don't know each other, and then we're telling stories. You just started your company at that time. Around
roughly.
that.
Pero kumikita na yun.
Yeah.
Kumikita na yun.
Wow. So, dude, when I knew you, you were already a changed person na pala talaga. So tapos na pala yung rough
Tapos
moments
na.
mo.
Oo.
I can say na I'm really lucky na hindi kita nakita as bullish kasi
or else hindi tayo magkaibigan nga.
or else I'm kaibigan kasi I don't like bully people, di ba? But well, for the viewers out there, from Toyota Corolla 1999 or 1999 model, what is your new toy now?
Do I have to?
No, just for inspiration, just for inspiration of those kids. Come on, be proud of it. I'm proud of you, by the way. So be proud of it.
It's a BMW sports car.
Wow. How many years from the Corolla? From how many years? 4 years?
Two, roughly.
2 years. 2 years.
Roughly two.
Everything is possible, especially if you have good intentions. I always believe in that. Now that your intention is to help other people and to help your family, that is something that is priceless along the way. Kasi, as much help as you can offer to other people without having the intention na, they're gonna be paying it back, is something na it will be paid sa'yo at some point in some form.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, in this stage of your career, and looking back like 10 years ago, maybe you were 19. Maybe Jollibee after Jollibee stint mo to, or maybe a missionary stint mo to.
Mission,
yeah. What do you think you can give yourself advice if you now as Jhopet Fines, and then going back in a time machine? So what do you think you can give yourself advice back then? Ano yung sasabihin mo sa kanya?
Make more mistakes. I felt like I played. I'm safe. Actually not really safe. I'm always on the brink. I always want to see myself on the brink. Then tsaka ako hahataw. Pero as of now, looking at all the possibilities and opportunities, I don't feel like I've done enough mistakes. Parang last 5 years ko lang. Na-accept na it's okay to make mistakes.
True.
I'm afraid to make mistakes before. So, ayoko mapunta sa limelight, ayoko mapulaan. Yun nga, kasi mayabang ako eh. So, ngayon, it's fine. Mistakes really define your future success and how you respond to those mistakes.
Well, going next to my question, why do you think other people, especially the young ones, are having a hard time, making mistakes or taking risk, or even getting back up dun sa mga failures nila? Because a lot of young ones now in this generation, if nagkamali sila, ayaw na nila. Sometimes susuko na sila. If nag-fail sila, or nag-fail yung kasama nila, or nag-fail yung isa sa mga nasa circle nila, ayaw na nilang subukan kasi they have that fear.
Right.
What advice can you actually give those young people?
Number one is know your deepest why. Why you do things. Why you want to be successful. And what defines the success that you want. Because for some people, earning 30,000 pesos, 50,000 per month is already success. Pero number one is know the deepest why. Why you wanted to become successful. Ano yung gusto mong gawin? Ano yung gusto mong patunayan? For me, it's just that. Provide for my family and not be selfish. For me, how I define selfish is kung iniisip mo lang, ito lang. Sarili mo, anong kakainin ko, anong baong ko, anong pamasahe ko, anong bibiliin ko, saan ako pabiling cellphone. But for me, think of other people. Uh, that's where your drive. For me, that's the greatest drive. Sa akin, they need to know their deepest why they wanted to do what they wanted to do, why they wanted to be successful. Because if your deepest why is survival, walang pipigil sa iyo eh. Walang walang wall for you. Because if you succumb to that wall, mamatay ka. Sabi nga 'di ba sa Art of War by Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
Huwag kang matakot kapag yung kalaban mo ay mas marami sa iyo. I mean, wag kang matakot. Yeah, am I right? Wag kang matakot kung ang kalaban mo ay iisa na lang at 5 kayo. No, actually, sorry. Let me rephrase. Matakot ka actually kapag isa na lang ang kalaban mo at 5 kayo. You have to be fearful. Kasi that people is going to fight for his life and he's going to do way above his capacity to survive. And that's the biggest why of that person. Imagine if you're in a war, isa ka na lang, 5 kalaban mo. Iniisip mo, family mo, anak mo, asawa mo, people that rely to you. You're going to do everything you can do to succeed on that. And succumbing to failure and stopping what you wanted to do, that means hindi enough yung motivation, hindi enough yung why, hindi enough yung push. You have to have that and really fight for that. So yeah, I think that for me is number 1. Number 2 is you have to surround yourself with mentors. We are not the best in the world. No one actually knows everything in the world.
True.
So surround yourself with mentors. Surround yourself with people that you wanted to be with. And yung people that define success for you. Because dun mo makikita ganun pala yung buhay ng successful na tao. Ganun pala mag-isip yung successful na tao. I was blessed to have a great partners that really reflects success for me and mentors along the way. After I failed in food part, I wasn't listening then. What I invested my time in is I went to Manila, joined different organizations, and minsan pupunta ako, I will travel 4-5 hours from Nasugbu to Manila just to attend a 15-minute mentoring. Yun lang. 15 minutes, then uwi ulit ako. Excuse me. So, surround yourself with people that reflect success for you. And number 3, build great character. Because if you don't have great character, you won't attract those people. So, if you have those 3, you have the drive, you have the support, and you have the inner strength. I don't think you're going to stop until you become successful. Yeah, that's my take on it.
Wow, man. Survival. That's a strong why in all forms. Because if imagine you are in a beach and you're treading the water for you to survive, and then if you stop treading, then you're dead. You're gonna do everything for you. You're gonna grab everything you can grab for you to survive. And wow, that's something na I hope the young ones can realize that a fake why. Meron kasi ako na nababasa na fake why, and fake whys are more of like kung ano nakikita nila dun sa ibang tao, they just tend to mirror it, and it's not really their deep why. You have to find your why as a young person, and if you think na at some point that was your why and then you wanted to change it because it's a different setup already, it's a different scenario, I'm telling you now, that is okay. Okay.
Right.
It is not. It's not like the first time you will know your why right away. It's not that quick. You will realize at some point that you need to change, and that is okay. One factor now, Jhopet in this generation is happiness in the workplace. It's always happiness in the workplace. When you tend to interview, or at least me, when I tend to interview young people or new employees that just graduated, one of the common things that they always say is, as long as I'm happy, I'm gonna stay in the company.
Correct.
That's the only thing that they always say, especially the ones who just graduated. When I ask them, what will make you leave the company, right? In our experiences in the past, Jopet, at some point that happiness will not really be a factor if you want to survive, right?
Right, right, right.
So
Totoo.
what do you think you can give to or advice you can give to these people or to these young ones about happiness in the workplace or happiness in what do you do in what you do, maybe what how important it is versus the reality of things.
Right. Well, for me personally, no, happiness is not something that can be imposed by others to me. Happiness is my choice. I've lost 3 million pesos, but when my wife supported me, I'm happy. Pero mauna ako sa utang. But yet, I'm happy because I know my wife supports me. So I also have the same scenario when ganun nga, when we interview people. We kind of have the same question we do. Yun nga, sinasabi nila, as long as I'm happy, I'm going to stay with the company. Then we send a follow-up question. What then? How do you define your happiness? Doon sila madalas nagpo-pause.
True.
Because most of the time, they don't know what defines their happiness. Hindi nila alam what makes them happy. Because there's two kinds of happiness for me. The happiness that comes from outside and the happiness that comes from inside. Yung happiness that comes from outside, is it okay?
Yeah, go.
Masaya yan, masaya. Then, all of a sudden, hindi na masaya. So, it started from outside, then it has an ending. Pero the happiness coming from inside, it starts with just a dot.
Yeah.
Just a dot.
Yeah.
Pakaliit lang. Then it goes all the way up. It doesn't have an ending. So that's the kind of happiness that we want our people to have. What's that dot? Ano yung tuldok na yun? Because most of the time, the reason why people cannot translate or cannot define their happiness is because it's too small. Napakaliit. It's just a minuscule thing.
Yeah.
What's that? That could grow into that huge thing. Tuldok lang. We ask our people that. What defines your happiness? Then hindi kami tumitigil hanggat di namin nakikita yung minuscule na yun. We're looking for that dot for our people. Yun lang yun. We look for that dot. And that's my suggestion to all our listeners. Most people that are not happy, most likely hindi mo pa nahanap yung tuldok na yun. You start with that dot. Then work from inside out. Yeah. That's my take on that.
Very nice. Very nice, man. Napakabusog ko this morning. I love that. And the most common thing in this generation, not to discriminate though when it comes to generation. It's actually every generation.
Yeah.
There's always a challenge.
Yes,
but
bro. It's
just-
a human nature.
yeah. It's but the difference now from before is whatever you have now or you don't have is amplified by the social media. And
Right.
sometimes our happiness depends on what we see and what we think
Right.
that they're portraying is happiness as well for us. So
Right.
I agree with you. Find that dot, invest on that dot, go back to that dot every time, and then you just
Yeah.
grow from it.
Correct.
It may stop at some point, at some place, but remember, at least it's a different place from where you started.
Right.
And wow, man. Yeah.
Imagine going outside, For example, I have a new iPhone. Yeah, I'm happy. Yes, I have a new iPhone. 2 years from now, happy ka pa din ba? Hindi na. Because something, may bago na ulit.
Yeah.
Diba? So,
Yeah.
those happiness are good to have sometimes. Pero investing on that, not good. Because it's going to end always at some point.
True.
Investing from inside out doesn't end. It always expands. And the beauty of it, the more it expands, the more people you influence. The more people get part of
Inspiration.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, inspiration from it.
From you.
Diba? Kasi kung ikaw highly inspirational ka na tao, people will look up to you. People would like to be with you. Like your podcast, you inspire many people, and I have no wonder bakit napakaraming taong sumasama sa iyo, 'di ba?
Wow. Thank you, man.
So that's that to me, the impact that you do in the world because of doing something that you love and earning money on the sides. I think that's the best
Yeah.
work I could do. I
Yeah,
think.
man. True
Diba?
that. It's people don't realize this. The people that they love what they do and then they earn money from it. It's like a form of ikigai, the Japanese concept ikigai. If you already reach that that blessing that you're doing what you love and then you're being paid for it, you're one in 1,000 or one in 1,000,000 that's having that kind of life. So be blessed about be thankful about it, be happy about it. And just a quick one lang, mabilis lang ng Jhopet. What is your greatest fear dito sa stage na to ng success mo? In life or in career or in whatever, what is your greatest fear? Ano ang itsura ng fear sa'yo? And wag mong sasabihin sa akin na, bro, takot pa rin ako sa ipis or takot pa rin ako sa ahas. But what is your greatest fear in this stage? Kasi, when we were kids, fear is different. When we were in high school, fear is different. But when you're a successful person like you, and especially that you are the rising star of local digital marketing and sales. When I say local, this means provincial. This means giving chances
It's
to the
national.
Yeah, definitely. It's not just metro. It's everywhere, man. It's everywhere.
Yes,
So, yeah, what fear looks like in this stage or at this stage?
A greatest fear or fear in career?
Greatest fear in career.
Yeah. Greatest fear, personally sa akin, syempre, my family. I don't want to lose my family. Sakit, whatever accident, whatever it is. Too early for me. So that's the greatest one. In career, yung for me, pinakamasakit talaga yung lulukuhin ka ng tao that you trusted the most. Sakit yan to anyone. And for me, I know it would happen. It happened before. It happened multiple times, and I still don't get used to it. No, nakakainis pa rin at nakakatakot looking at it at this scale that it would happen. So yeah, for me, those two, my family and being betrayed by a person that I really trust.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
You know what? Losing everything, when you know the formula of making money, losing everything isn't a factor anymore. You know you could rebuild. You know that. You know to yourself you could rebuild. Pero yung losing people that you work with, losing people, those years of relationship and trust, yan, mahirap at masakit.
True. And our most common question from our listeners every time in every episode, this is the last question as well, Jhopet. Follow your passion or follow your parents after graduation. What do you do? What do you choose? What's your advice? Do you follow your passion that makes you happy? Kasi pinagbigyan mo ng parents mo after school, right? Sabi ng parents mo, yeah, graduate ka lang or whatever, that kind of setup. Or you follow your parents and do work and then earn money and be realistic about it. What do you do?
Well, first off, hindi naman ako graduate, so hindi ko alam yon. After graduation, you work and you climb up the corporate ladder. Second, my mother never done that to me naman. Pero now, for my kids, I think I could speak to that.
Go. That kind of point of view as a parent even. As a parent even.
Yeah. I want my kids to really follow their passion. So I want them to follow and do the things they love. Because you know what, we are people. We're not just people who are created to make money. We are people who are created to live positive lives and impact other people. So if my kids could do something out of their passion, whereas it would encourage them to become a good person and impact more people to become good person, then I'm okay with that. I'm already fulfilled with that. Pero as a businessman, syempre, I'm trying to influence my kids already into the succession planning. Because I know it's going to happen one way or another. Tagal pa nga lang kasi maliit pa lang sila, but it's going to happen. So as early as now, my kids are 5, 3, and 2. All of them have work already. We buy their toys once in a while, but most of their toys of they liking, they buy it out of their own money.
Wow.
Sila
How's
mismo.
that? Like, how old are your
So
kids?
5, 3, and 2. So my eldest, si Dwayne, lalaki, his first job is maglalagay lang ng tubig sa ref. Alam mo yan, yung lahat tayo may lalagyan niya ng water. Diba? Yeah, every bottle 5 pesos yan. So before, of course, kung soswaldo siya, I also have to teach him how to spend money. Tinuruan ko siya paano bumili sa tindahan, magkano magbila ng sukli. I also taught him how to save money. Sabi ko, if kumbaga kung magiging bulagsak ang anak ko sa pera, I'd rather have him do it now at that stage. Kasi kung bibili ka sa tindahan, ubusin mo pera mo, I don't care. At least pag laki mo, natutunan mo na yung leksyon. And I'm just proud that my kid save. Dwayne saves money. Nakakailang alkansya na siya actually of 5 pesos. Marami na. If I'm going to count, siguro mga around 5,000 na nag-ipon na. Dami na. Tapos,
ang dami tubig nun.
Yes, ang dami tubig. Years. We've been doing that for years. He started when he was around 2.5, 3, something. Then now, mautak na siya eh. Pag uwi ko sa bahay, binibil na niya ako. Nagbibil siya sa akin. Pagdating ko sa bahay, babati siya, hugs, kiss. Then after that, next niya sasabihin niya, Papa, naglagay ako 6 na water. So, may 30 pesos siya sa akin that day. Marunong na siya mag-bill. Sabi ko, that's good. Medyo nagiging negosyante na yung anak ko. Ganun. Then, now, yung paglalagay ng tubig, medyo okay na siya dun eh. He proposed. Actually, he sent me a proposal. Not a written one. Verbal. Sabi niya, Papa, pag maghuhugas ako ng plato, magkano sweldo ko? Sabi niya sa akin. Then, ako naman napaisip. Sabi ko, tuwing kailan ka maghuhugas? Every night. Sige. Depende sa plato. Sabi ko, every plate, kano usapan namin? Before, pinresyohan namin siya per piece. Parang every plate is 3 pesos. Every kutsara, tinidor piso. Hanggang ginawa ko na lang fix kasi hindi na niya mabilang. Hindi niya mabilang eh. So, ginawa na lang namin fix na 25 pesos. So, every night, naghuhugas siya, naglalagay siya ng water, nakakaipon siya. Then, I make him choose what he wanted to buy. So, ngayon nangangarap na siya eh. Sabi niya, bibili daw siya nung ano yung last time na sinabi niya sa akin. He was planning to buy a bike, a red bike. Tinatanong niya sa akin, Papa, ilang pera yung bike? Sabi ko, siguro mga 3,000, 4,000. Ay, madaming water yun, no? Ay ko, madaming water yun, pero you can afford it already. Sabi ko.
Yeah. Because of the savings that he has, yeah.
Yeah, then I make him, one of these days, kung magde-decide siya, gusto niyang bilhin, kumbaga sabihin niya, Pa, I want to buy that bike. Samahan ko siya, and I'll let him hold those money, and siya mismo yung magbayad dun sa transaction. Yun, that's first step. Because I don't want my kids to be entitled na porque may company kami, sila na yung next in line. No, they have to qualify. They have to qualify into the position. And they have to start from pinakamababa. That's what made me successful. I made myself qualified in Jollibee. I made myself qualified and the best in my mission. So they have to do the same. Because kung hindi nila gagawin yun, I deprived them of the keys on how I became successful. They have to be successful at their own rights. So yeah, going back to your question, I'd rather have my kids pursue their passion and become good people.
Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Jhopet Fines. And I appreciate the time. I really appreciate the time. And guys, I'm really thankful that Jhopet is our guest for our final episode. It took me a month to actually decide on who's going to be my final guest for this season, because we will have a season break after this. And if we didn't attend that meeting in our organization, and then we talked a bit, right? And then I got interested, and I was like, this person is my final guest, because I know that he has an interesting story, and it's actually a blessing in disguise as well na yung leadership mo, yung leadership na mga beliefs mo, we are actually in line with them. So I'm really happy and I'm really contented with
My
the
pleasure,
result.
man. My pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know what? Invite them in all your socials where they can find you. I know you are a speaker as well. You do speaking. You do talks when it comes to digital marketing and along those lines. So tell us about it. Invite us.
Actually, wala na akong masyadong gigs on
Gigs,
that.
yeah.
I focus. Nag-focus ako really on running the company. So those people who wanted to add me on Facebook, just search Elder J Fines at Elder J Fines, that's it, or Jhopet Fines. That's all. Yeah, thank you. And hopefully, sabi nga ni Brycan, be a human. Be a human. Diba? So, purpose over money. Because purpose will last long time. Money will always run out. It's a finite source, but purpose lasts. It doesn't have an ending.
And always think about your legacy, guys. One of the greatest takeaway that I have here in this episode is with whatever you do, you they're like three things, simple things that you can apply it to everything. One, choose the right people. People makes the company. That person makes your life easier as well. If that is your wife, that is your husband. So on that area of things, that is the very most important thing or the basic thing. Choose the right people, process, and then purpose. 3 P's.
Tama.
3 P's. Sobrang ganda. Now, guys, that actually sums up our season 1. Grabe, we started like last 3 months, and then sobrang thank you with those 2,000 organic likes that we have, followers. We have like thousands of downloads, or 1,000 plus downloads in Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We have more than 10,000 views on YouTube. So sobrang blessed na. It was just a passion project at that time when we started because of the COVID. But because of the results, I'm really blessed on where we at, and hoping to see you on season 2. We'll just have like our mental health break, sabi nga nila. And I would like to thank the Philippine Podcast Directory in everything that you do. I appreciate it. Us being shouted out as well as one of their members for the podcast Philippines. Shout out to the pod tits of Philippine Podcast as well, the founder Jayan. And all the people that are surrounding that organization or that group or that community. Now, again, this is your host, Brycan Dayao of the Young Leader Podcast. See you guys.
This was another episode of
The Young Leader Podcast
with Brycan Dayao. Now make some noise and tell your friends about us. What up? Like, share, and subscribe at The Young Leader Brycan. For more high geek content, visit us at brykandayao.com. As we always say,
and whatever you do,
be human.